Okay, welcome to episode 2. I have these stains on my shoulders because I just did a bunch of kettlebell front squats.
Hair.
Yeah, we look very presentable. But this last week, let's just kind of I want to hear how your week went and what you learned, and you better want to know what I learned as well. So
I do want to know. I guess starting with the first side of things is business side of things. I was gone this week in Hawaii at a friend's wedding, and so something that I was thinking about this week is I keep going back and forth. So I'm not on a sales offer right now, and Max is, and I'm just trying to determine the question. How do I phrase this? Is it better to build capital and then go all in, or to just go all in and start working on the thing that you actually want to do?
let's talk about Medicare.
Yeah. So that's what we're both, that's kind of our goal, is to build a Medicare business.
Right now, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Insurance agency is really...
Yeah. It started just life insurance, and now we're kind of rethinking how we want to do it. And the offer that Max is on is based around Medicare, and we really like the way that they do things, so we're like, well, maybe we should just do that. But we're also kind of in a transition phase, so I'm like, do I get another job for a while, or do we just go all in?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking about business-wise this week.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know if there's a...
I think there's not a right answer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. And
Basically,
I think it's just whatever risks we want to take.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, the way I see it is if an offer or if like a position comes around where it could allow you to grow income, grow more capital so that you can invest quicker into this than take the opportunity, like something that's more temporary, right? Where you could work there for 6 months or even 12 months at the most, right? That's where I see it. It's like, look for something like that. But if you don't find anything like that, like, keep your
I
options
just don't
open.
know how likely that is, because most companies aren't
Yeah. But if you think about
looking for that. But some are, so maybe...
Think about it, a lot of the sales roles that you've been on, you've only been on for about a year, right? In a lot of ways.
Well, and then, yeah. But that wasn't, like, the intention. But then I decided to, like, move to something better or something.
Mm-hmm. So, in terms of me for career, things are going pretty well. Say I'm like, I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but I have been working on this new offer, basically a consulting company for Medicare agencies. And it's so fun. I love it. And the biggest focus that I have right now is just improving show rate. In the business, I think if I could improve my show rate, I'd make a lot more money. So that's basically getting more people to show up to calls. Like, I have plenty of leads, I have plenty of people.
What would you say is the biggest thing? Because if that's the one factor that's going to help you make more money, what's the biggest thing stopping you from doing that?
The fact that I can't...
Is it just like not knowing the next thing or what to do exactly?
Well, this is what I think needs to happen, but this is like pushing responsibility away from myself. But what I think needs to happen is, because I have so many leads, like I'm booked out for like 4 or 5 days, sometimes 6 days, literally. And so I'm like, we should add more friction in the funnel. And for somebody, maybe if you're wondering what that means, like, more friction would just be, okay, you're licensed in Medicare, okay, but we're only going to take you if you've been in Medicare for at least a year, or XYZ type of income. Like, you're only going to accept
basically just narrowing it down to people who are actually
higher qualified, because we have plenty of leads still too. So it's like, hey, don't let these people book. And then, like, the few people that do, where I have like 3 or 4 people that do book, that gives me more time to be able to do outbound and book more like high qualified people onto my calendar.
I would say that is one thing, is like having a conversation around that.
Yes.
Maybe
Which
to push that. Is there anything else that Because like you said, that is kind of pushing it on to
the marketing team.
right.
Yeah.
So is there anything on your end that you think you could be doing differently, or are you already doing like?
I think I'm doing
so-
those things. I started implementing them like last week, which is basically like just changing. If the person's not replying to me and based off of their form they don't look like they're super qualified, I'll just allow that person to be double booked, because a lot of times they're not going to show up, right? Because I know right now like my show rate's like 40%. So if I'm not able to get a hold of that person, I'm just opening up and letting that person be double booked with another person, and that has allowed me to get a lot more calls in. And it just has a higher likelihood that I'll have more calls throughout the day, and it doesn't cost the company any extra money.
Right.
So
If you were to sum up in like 4 sentences the advice you'd give yourself this week, what would you say?
I'd say stay focused on the task at hand, and right now I think I really need to go back and hit up a lot of people that have ghosted me, and just be like, hey, like again, this is the, like, just hit them up and just be like, hey, this is the offer kind of deal.
Like follow it all the way through. Don't let them fall through the
Yeah,
cracks.
yeah, because there's some people that have just like kind of slipped through the cracks. Kind of just, they ghosted me and they stopped replying, and I'm like, I just need to hit them up again. It's always funny because it's like, man, I wish somebody would just tell me yes or no. But then when somebody tells you no in sales, you're like, don't take no for an answer. Every single time they say no. They're like, okay, no, I don't want it. And you're like, oh, but every no is that much closer to a yes. So I just got to
think a big thing in sales is actually that people often say not right now, and sometimes it's legitimate, sometimes they're just pushing it down the road, but then things happen in life that help us become more ready to take more risks on ourselves, and so following through all the way. So if there is a pause, even with our own business, right, if we do have a pause, if I do get on another offer before we jump back onto that, making sure that we stay aligned the whole way through.
Yeah, totally.
Up until it's like a final, like, no, this is not something I ever want to do, I'm going to go this direction instead. Okay, cool. Because I think in sales you should take that no for an answer. Like if somebody actually decides they want something different,
yeah,
like cool. But if they're just pushing it off out of fear, then
that's a
like
different
follow
story.
through and like keep following.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's like, hey, what is actually stopping you? Oh, I need to do it, but I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And that's actually a big thing. Like I've gotten a lot of.
I would say that's
fear.
It's
one of the
source
number one
behind most no's.
Yes.
Is fear.
Not
even just in sales, but anything.
Which also just makes me like realize, I'm like, if that's how people are showing up on the calls, that has some way to do with how I'm showing up. I'm not being like faith driven sense, like you have to have belief and faith that it can work out. And if somebody's like fearful, they're like, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work out? What if it does? Like at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know what's gonna. But if you never take action, then you're never gonna be able to get there. And so,
is there any ways that right now, like we are putting something off out of fear? I'm just thinking about this now.
I'm sure there are. It's probably things that we just like are unaware of.
Well, I think that's different though.
Like consciously.
Yeah. Is there anything we're kind of consciously being like, maybe we shouldn't take that risk because
I don't think so. Honestly, no. No.
There's part of me that thinks that not just like fully jumping into what we want to do on the Medicare side is like
fearful.
Like a money fear thing, in a way, because like, oh well, we should build up more capital, which I also agree with. But then I'm like, is it smart or is it fear? Maybe it's both.
I would say it's smart, just because like I want to have enough money, because we spent a bunch of money on leads before and basically lost it. So now we need to like this time
rebuild, and then
rebuild. So we have that money. So we also know that's like, hey, I'm like comfortable to lose money.
Yeah.
And like,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm like at a spot where I'm like, well, I wouldn't really be comfortable losing that money.
Yeah.
So
I definitely want to build back up.
Yeah. So that's what I think the move is. In terms of
health.
Yeah, health. So this last week, Charlie, I got like a CrossFit coach. I mean, I already had CrossFit coaches and stuff, but like I have like like somebody that's programming specifically for me. So they have a few extra exercises, like accessory work and stuff. It's so much fun. Like, I love it so much. I've only done 2 of the workouts. I just completed one of them, and that's why I'm all beat up. So that was my second workout of today.
He kept texting me while he was gone, being like, I love this.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I recorded the first one, and this one I didn't record, but like this morning was like snatches, rowing, and then I just did some front squat kettlebell.
That's why your shirt is oh, you can't see it, I don't think, but
you can see it a little bit here. Yeah, it's
Yuck.
crazy. Man, that was heavy though. Those were really tough. And but I'm just having a lot of fun with it, and I'm mostly just prepping for the Summit Games that are coming up here in about 3 weeks. And then after that, I'll probably continue because I have the Mountain West competition, which is also right after that, which I didn't intentionally do, but it just happened. Just kind of happened because I got invited to this. Anyway, so I might end up continuing to do that, but I'm spending a lot of time on my fitness right now and like my recovery and just in general, and I just really, really like it. Like, it's just my, like, I don't know. It's just like that's when I feel like the most just like in tune, I guess. Like I'm not thinking about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no work stress or anything. It's just like I'm just focusing on myself and improving myself and my abilities and everything. Versus on a sales call, I wish that it was more like that, but there's like other aspects of pressure. It's like pressure from potentially the company, or like pressure on myself, like if I don't do this, then like I could fail and blah blah blah. There's that fear of failure, right? That's one.
Yeah, which I'm like, the more I used to be of the opinion that holding on to those fears was helpful in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That it was smart, but the more, I would say in the last year, the more we've worked on some of those things, and the more I've just decided to let some of those things go, it's always gone better when I don't hold on to those fears that I feel like are protecting me.
Totally.
Which is strange.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, a big, like, a fear of mine was that, like, or something that I held on to was I would beat myself up for not working hard enough. Because I'm like...
In workouts?
In general. In anything in life. Like, if I didn't work hard enough at XYZ, then I'm like, I will beat myself up so that I don't do that again. And I felt like that would help me. So I'm like, well, I don't want to beat myself up, so I'm going to work hard. And that was what I used to like motivate me to like be better. But then I realized that I was like, oh, I don't need to beat myself up to get better. Like, I can just be better, and then I can forgive myself as well if I didn't. But I have a standard that I hold, and it's okay if I feel guilty if I didn't like live up to my standard. I'm like, oh, I didn't live up to my standard. I feel guilty about that, but I shouldn't be like, okay, like, screw you doing that. Yeah.
That's interesting, because I think for me too, letting go of fear of failure, or, well, for me that was a big thing, is using fear of failure as a motivator for the things I wanted to achieve and making sure that I was achieving things, when in reality, especially if we're talking about my health, when it was around the same time period that I was super conscious about that in my life and decided to just not live like that anymore, is when I also started to improve my health. It's just interesting. Connection.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of I feel like a lot of breakthroughs that have been happening mentally in those areas.
One thing with on the health side of things this week. So this is something we noticed too when we traveled to Costa Rica and Mexico last summer, right? Last summer. Is especially when you're traveling, you have to be so freaking intentional to try to eat right. And like, because I'm thinking about it, because I know
now you know,
like the whole time I knew, okay, I'm gonna get home in 2-3 days or whatever, I'm gonna start going back to the gym, because there wasn't a gym there and I was walking a lot, so I didn't work out while I was there. But I knew I was coming back, and I knew that if I didn't eat good, I was gonna feel so terrible. And I kind of did today, but I didn't feel near as terrible as I would have if I hadn't made healthy
like
foods and protein a priority. But it was like I had to very much go out of my way, and all this sounds It sounds very judgmental, because I guess in a way I was. But, like, I was just, like, all the people around me, right? Like, everyone's on vacation, right? And so,
Like,
if I would have
let
kept
go.
a log, yeah, if I
Like,
would have kept
ease
a
up a
log
little bit.
of the things being eaten, I'm like, man, I would have felt so sick. And I don't think it's bad to go eat on vacation, you know? But for me specifically, I know that it makes me more sick than it makes other people when I eat bad. And so part of me is like, oh yeah, we're on vacation, just eat whatever. But then I also know that it's not worth it.
Yeah, how do
for
you-
me.
Yeah, well, because I know that was a big thing for you. Is you're like, I'm just gonna eat it, and I don't care if I feel crappy. But you didn't.
I used
really.
to. Something in the last 2 months or so, I feel like I still ate a piece of cake at the wedding.
Oh wow.
It was good.
What have you done?
And I ate a snow cone.
Yum.
But both of those days, I got my protein in first before I did that. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, I think that's good.
anything else you want to add on the health side?
No, that's it. Let's see.
All right, communication, relationship.
Communication. Relationships.
We didn't have enough communication this week. That was the problem.
Oh yeah, it was so sad. Well, just
It was
because
so sad.
Hawaii's like a 4-hour time difference. So like by the time I was going to bed, it was like 8 p.m. because I go to bed early, 9 p.m. So it's like 4 or 5 p.m. for her. So.
But I kept a watch on that had Idaho time so that I would know when to call him, because I know your schedule pretty well. But then one of the days I didn't wear it, and then I called him like 3 hours after you'd been in bed or something. I felt bad.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know what I do want to talk about is the elephant in the room. Want to know the elephant in the room? The elephant in the room is something that I think keeps our relationship very healthy, is that Max always brings up the elephant in the room. Always. And at first, like that, I don't know. I was raised to communicate and talk, but it was different when I married Max, because he just calls things out in a way that I was not used to. And at first I was like, this is bad. At first I just was like, it would just catch me off guard. And I would say it also catches other people off guard. But because it's so authentic and real, it's fine. But even in our relationship, if there's anything, like, we never have disagreements that just,
Fester.
yeah, like that.
There's
never
nothing.
happens
There's
because
nothing that exists
immediately-
right now.
Yeah, like immediately when something happens, it's just like,
Taken care of.
okay, let's talk about that. And I would say a big part of that is, like, you call it out, but you're also willing to take accountability. And I feel like I've gotten better at calling out the elephant in the room and taking accountability as well for my end of things when, you know. But I feel like that is something that in society we are taught not to do, to avoid the elephant in the room. And maybe that's even culturally in America or something, I don't know. But because I feel like some other cultures are a lot more blunt and they just say it how it is, but it's like, oh, like, be polite, be
'Cause-
kind, and that's sometimes seen as not kind to say the thing that's happening.
It's actually more unkind to not say the thing that's happening, because you're basically saying, and I heard this from Layla Hermosi, but I also learned it from the BU training. But it's basically, you're saying, when you don't say the thing to the person, you're basically saying, I'm not going to say that to you because I don't think you can take it.
Yeah. Well, and it also means that you're not really wanting a true connection with them, because it's like, okay, there's this wall that's now built up and we're just gonna leave it there.
Yeah, and it's like, and I don't.
And sometimes it's super uncomfortable.
Well, it's like, I don't think you're strong enough to take what I'm about
Yeah.
to say to you. How I authentically
Well, but
feel.
also if you know that you disagree, I think sometimes it's even harder to bring it up, right? If you know that there's going to be
Yeah.
a disagreement there.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, if you want a connection, if you want a relationship with that person, if we want a relationship, then we have to just
address the
address
disagreement.
it and be like, hey, what is the solution? How are we going to move forward? Because otherwise it's just going to be a block and someday it'll explode.
Yes, it does. And this is just from what I see in other relationships and stuff. But it seems like there are some relationships where, yeah, those things, like, something happens and they're like, oh my gosh, that really upsets me that he or she did that. And then that's it. That's all you do. It's like you don't even address the fact that just upset you, and you never bring it up. And I would say, like, I mean, if there's something that upsets me, I don't know.
Like last week, I don't remember. We were sitting there talking, and I said something, and it was not intentional, but I made you feel stupid or something when I said it. And Max just stopped, and he was just like, "Man, like that made me feel kind of stupid when you said that." And I was like, wow, I did not mean it like that at all. That was not at all what was going through my head or my intention. But the fact that you, like, brought it up right then, because if not, then it would have spent the next, like,
right.
Like, you would have been thinking
and
that.
the truth
Oh, she
truth
thinks
of
I'm
it is,
stupid.
yeah, the truth of it is, like, she didn't mean that, and also that's on me. That's on me that I felt that way.
Well, it's on both of us, right?
Which I also, yeah. Well, yeah.
Because I obviously didn't say it in a kind way or
Sure.
communicate it, like, well, so I can learn from that, but also...
But
on
also,
your
like,
end,
how I respond to it
Like,
also is
choosing
my
to-
responsibility. So I just say, hey, like, when you say it like this is how I felt. Like, I just felt like I felt stupid when you said that. I don't like to feel like I'm stupid in front of my wife. So, otherwise I'll have to hit you. So, I'm
No,
just kidding.
you can
I'm just kidding. So, anyway. Don't say that. Don't let them know I'm being abused.
We have to cut this part out.
No.
No, because some people do.
There's also people that have alcoholic husbands.
Okay, we are moving on from that. But there was one last point I wanted to make with that. I was gonna say that another thing I feel like we do, along with addressing the elephant in the room, is that when we do that, we tend to address situations almost as if we're outside the situation, like outside of feelings almost. Like we address it in sometimes more of like a logical manner, being like, okay, this is the fact. Well, yeah, we address the facts instead of the feelings, because I feel like oftentimes feelings are a representation of facts plus what we think in our head or what we've created in our head.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we go back to just the facts first of, okay, well, I did say this phrase.
It's like, hey,
And
you
I-
said this, I felt this way, but let's go back to the facts. This is what you said.
This is what I said.
It's like, and so I shouldn't have felt that way when you said it, but how you said it made me feel this way. It's
And then I started to like go down this path in my
Okay.
head. It's like, okay, cool.
So I just, next time I say it like this, next time I need to say this thing, I just don't say it in this type of tone. And then he won't feel like he's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we have a better relationship.
Yeah. But I feel like that is helpful for us in a lot of things, you know? Just making sure we're addressing
Yeah.
the facts. And then we can talk about the feelings, because we always address the feelings as well. But it's like, okay,
Yeah.
these are the facts. And then I'm like, okay, well,
How
and then
come-
on top of that, like, I'm really sorry that I made you feel that way. I don't like making you feel that way,
Yeah.
you know?
And I did not forgive her for it.
She never will.
Never for that. Anyway.
Anything
so-
else?
Nope, that's it.
Bye.